هلا والله this is George.
هلا
So
كيف؟
معي George Najem, one of the prominent up and coming physiology scientists in my humble opinion. الموضوع راح نكون very quick today. We want to talk about the mind-muscle connection when it comes to hypertrophy results اللي بيعطوها. So بس small recap على اللي عم بيصير هو انه دايب كل خبرية على السوشيال ميديا whether mind muscle connection is a main driver ولا هي everything that will end up with hypertrophy أو تكبر عضلك ولا it's not. حدا بيقول إنه لازم تحس بالعضلة ولازم تفكر بالعضلة أنت عم تعمل contraction لتستفيد to the maximum. حدا بيقول it doesn't matter. So as we know أنا وجورج وكلنا إنه it's never a black or white answer. دايما في minutiae وفي أشياء details to talk about. So this is why we want to do this Zabatcon podcast, our quick call. George, the floor is yours. I'm your student. I will listen to you. I will interject when I feel something is not
conversation انا
doesn't
وياك
make
يعني
sense.
مش لا تكون شوي فلو. let's stay in the flow انا وياك. اول شيء الفكره انه بعتقد الديفينيشن it's all over the place يعني it's a term انه mind muscle connection بس when you look at كل حدا how he applies it you realize انه it doesn't mean the same لكل الناس. So most people how they use it it's not actually they're not doing squeezing the muscle, they're actually just changing the forces بالاكسرسايز بمعنى انه شد بكواعك او ما تشد they're just changing كيف الاكسرسايز is applying force to them. يعني قد ايه biceps is getting involved. اذا بدك تعمل friction forces بالبول داون هيك اكيد راح تشغل بايسبس مور. سو بيقول لك شد بهول الاصبعين therefore بحس باللاتس مور. This is not mind muscle connection. This is
So
how
let's
you
define it. So let's
exercise
define.
executed. Huh?
Okay. So let's define what mind muscle connection is in the
Mind
scientific
muscle
field.
connection is usually bodybuilders هذا use it انه ينقوا اكزرسيس بحسوا بالعضله في اكثر من اكزرسيس.
Okay.
That makes sense. So هيدا الاكزرسيس بس اشتغلوا بحس بهالعضله بالاكزرسيس اكثر من يعني مثلا بالرو ما بحس بماي رير دالز therefore بدي اكس اكزرسايز بداله. ويمكن شخص
Okay.
ثاني يقول لك العكس. Now اذا بدك we can go بالسيكونس. بدك نحكي الفيزيولوجي اول شيء بعدين الاوتكم ريسيرش بدك نحكي العكس. كيف تشوف انت it's better
ليك انا I prefer to go with the outcomes قبل شو اسمه قبل الفيزيولوجي. نرجع نحكي عن الفيزيولوجي. خليني بس to say something. انت ما بعرف اذا مذكر انا like 2 months ago انا حكيتك specifically regarding this topic وقت
100%
سألتك.
100%
so so كنت عم بقول لك انه what I know is that you're lifting heavy enough you cannot really يعني mind muscle connection. انت your muscles should respond to the intensity او to the weight to the load اللي انت عم تحمله from an absolute load. So هل mind muscle connection works ولا لا؟ وذن وقتها جاوبتني. So from an outcome data where does mind muscle connection work
From an
when it
outcome
might not
data
work.
we have most of the research we have is acute. It's very يعني بجيب untrained group. هلا في عالم حتنتقد انه most of it is untrained بس there's a reason most of it is untrained. حدا trained حيكون عنده biases و you can't know شو عم بفكر هذا الشخص. يعني انت حتقول له هيك 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 فكر بس بالست عنده years of experience.
Okay.
You're gonna apply what he does. So untrained it's more you can actually have more control over it.
Okay.
So most people منهم بالريسيرش therefore بينتقدوا على قصص مش منطقية تصير. Secondly في هلا حنمشي فيهم step by step. Most research بيفرجي the higher the intensity يعني in general في research مثلا 20-40% 1RM بيلاقوا the biggest difference مثلا usually بالbench press. إذا بدك emphasize pecs versus triceps usually you can see a difference 20-40%. على 50% it starts to go actually decrease. على 80% no difference 1RM. هيدي
So
trend
انت عم تحكي هون in this manner 20-40% of your RM mind muscle connection can work or can benefit
That's
you.
when they measure EMG. هلا في عالم رح تطلع تقول لك EMG is not perfectly predictive of hypertrophy. ما حدا عم يحكي عن hypertrophy، عم نحكي عن muscle excitation.
Okay.
It has been validated against MRI, against muscle swelling بالultrasound, against فينا هول ما بدي اطول كثير فوت فيهم بس
ما
إنه اذا حدا
بيأثر.
اني input على ال EMG فينا نحكي فيه بعدين. Therefore ال EMG usually you realize انه الديفرنس بس تصير بهاي انتنسيتيز بتخف. هلا في really nice paper by Fujita and all that in 2019 جابوا group of participants قالوا لهم يا either focus into just throwing يا either
اوكي
حطوا حدا معهم actually اللي pull your elbows actually كانوا they're palpating their lats.
اوكي
اوكي يلي شافوا بالاي ام جي اكتيفيتي اللاتس increased بس بالفيرست sub maximal reps كان 70% 1 rep. So basically 70% usually most people fall between 12 to 18 rep range is a failure لأن هون كان
12
reduction go to failure.
12 to
So
13
basically
14
أول couple of reps صار في reduction in rear delt activity increase in lat activity بس الافكت once وصلوا to failure كمان رجع نفس الشيء بطل في any differences between the groups.
اوكي
So
so
activity in general is one intensiveness مش بس intensity intensiveness also impacts it.
شو قصدك من intensiveness؟
as يعني قد ايه proximity لأنه intensity usually
عظيم.
means the bar intensiveness قد ايه الintensity بال
اوكي
يعني
so
الفانكشن قد ايه close to failure.
by the way we will put the references بنرجع بالكابشن
أكيد.
وبالديتيلز. So let me بس recap. So what you're saying in for people in layman's terms mind muscle connection does work. هذه خلينا let's نوقف فيها. هلا I will add the الاشياء الفاكتورز الثانيه الفاريبلز. So mind muscle connection does work. It can benefit someone who's عم بفكر بالعضله عم بفكر تسكويز ده muscle معينه. الفاكتور الثاني هو when it comes to the intensity. So قد ايه الانتنسيتي اللي انت عم تحمل فيها عم بحكي from an intensity يعني 20 30 40 50% 60% 70% of your 1 RM that goes 10 to 12 13 reps 14 reps كمان mind muscle connection might work أو does work.
might work but it's linearly getting worse من 20
عظيم. هلا الفاكتور الثالث هو in two parts. الفاكتور لما تطلع فوق 70 او 78% of your 1 RM يعني 80 85 75 85 95 على الاغلب what you know from the studies انه it doesn't بصير almost
you start seeing هيدا reduction عرفت؟
اوكي
in papers مثلا above 50 they see no difference. It depends على البيبر يعني you're gonna see mixed results.
اوكي خلينا بين 50 و 70 او above 70 based على هاي الستادي اللي حكيت عنها. So then it starts decreasing يعني mind muscle effect او mind muscle connection بتصير تقلل الريزلتس اذا بدك. هلا في another factor خليني بس to add this اللي هو قد ايه proximity to failure كمان. So انت even اذا اخذت 60% RM يعني اذا عم تشتغل على 60 او 50 او 40% RM if you take it till the end to failure mind muscle connection would have a lesser role than if you're not taking it to failure. Okay. So in a way or another إذا عم بحكي شيء مش accurate let me know. بس I'm trying to conclude it. So from an outcome data one mind muscle connection does work بس it depends على ال percent of the intensity or percent of your 1 RM.
Studies it can increase activation as seen بمultiple studies. هلا في recent paper overhead press نفس الخبرية. You can emphasize more triceps. هلا في one كمان في papers they realize انه it can increase it can only decrease السينرجيست without increasing the antagonist. يعني بالبنش بريس شافوا reduction in triceps activity without any increase in back activity. So
بس وين بدها تروح بس وين بده يروح
I'm not sure about it. They didn't measure biceps activity لأنه إذا the friction force is هيك.
Okay.
I think you're probably gonna.
بس انه if the synergist goes down or the main mover doesn't go up then the forces should be taken up by some other muscle. صح. This is the.
But again هون what you realize إنه كمان ground reaction forces مثلا بالسكوات pattern في reduction بس يستعملوا internal focus versus external focus. عندك on average 2 reps reduction in a day someone can perform. So هول big practical factors رح نحكي فيهم بالاخر بالبراكتيكاليتي انه what we usually see is performance actually dropping كمان.
Okay. When you use mind muscle connection على performance.
Mind muscle connection.
Okay. So بعد في شيء ثاني بالاوتكم you want to talk about؟
بالاوتكم data في كذا side of it بس in general the one study we have that actually was longitudinal it measured hypertrophy was the Schoenfeld one. هيدا
اوكي.
بال 2018 they did I think 10 weeks knee extension و bicep curls.
بايسب كيرلز.
Knee extension for I think 4 sets 8 to 12, bicep curls 4 sets 8 to 12 twice a week. الجروبس لقوا significant difference بالbiceps hypertrophy بس no significant difference بالquad hypertrophy.
هيدي it has to do with the mind muscle connection as well.
هيدا كمان one group was informed to squeeze the biceps or squeeze the quad.
اوكي.
One group was informed انه just lift the weights. هلا researchers هن what their theory is انه the people لانه هن this is what they هيك قالوا يعني العالم اللي كانوا بالستدي انه they could visualize their biceps more. I'm not sure قد ايه هيدا الشيء impacts the results. اما is it لانه one is more constrained than the other technique was
اوكي.
more ما بعرف ما في فيديو لهيك ستدي لحتى اقدر احكم اذا كانوا بس even يعني بالريسيرش بس نشوف cheating versus non-cheating we see similar hypertrophy يعني قد ايه بده يكون someone's cheating. So this is another thing انه what we usually see is في an increase in agonist activity sometimes بالresearch agonist group increase also بالantagonist activation. That's why you see بتصير الراب تاخد وقت اكثر. وان جنرال بس تكون الراب سبيد عاليه ما بيكون في people usually can do mind muscle connection بالresearch. بدها تكون around 2 seconds الكونسنتريك.
اوكي. It needs to be a bit more
can
controlled.
someone to lift explosively ما راح يكون عنده هيدا نفس ability to do it. So وين كنا بأي my train of
بايسب سكواتس الشامفل ده فهمت.
so in general بكل الاوتكم داتا what you see is ممكن يكون في agonist increase السينرجست بينزل usually والantagonist هيدا so إذا it's going to work it's theoretically it can send more activation to a certain area while reducing activation لغير area hence why بتشوف what قد ايه الرابس you can do what is strength تبعك بس كمان it's going to alter the movement pattern يعني you're going to see حدا is lifting up إذا you're looking for performance or looking for standardizing technique it's going to be tough. Part of it كمان رح نحكي فيها هيدي بالبراكتيكاليتي حتكون للآخر.
اوكي.
هلا كاوتكم داتا عنا بعد studies which is هيدا بالي هو الأهم that's في study 2013 to 2023 by Mitsui هيدا bodybuilders actually شافوا subjective versus objective muscle activity. So they measured EMG activity versus هن يقولوا لهم وين عم بحسوا بالعضلات. It was quad I think knee extension 3 sites على الركفام وعندك vastus lateralis medialis. So they could only accurately شو بقولوا انه basically حسوا بين 1 point out of the 3 100%. It was accurate. البقية they couldn't actually tell. They were actually bodybuilders يعني well-trained bodybuilders. الفاسس medialis واللاتeralis actually sensation تبعه يحسوا فيه أكتر in increasing hip flexion angle which makes no sense. ما راح يغير شيء باللينث تبعه. So this should tell you إنه sensations في يجي من كذا محل. في يجي من muscle length في يجي من actual instability. يعني sometimes actually people start chasing instability for sensation مثل انه بيقول لك باللاترال ريز ما تعوز الترابس تبعك بس انه the sensation is coming from actually the site of approximation and separation getting closer to each other. في عندك هونيك sensations هتصير بهول tissue. Is it more tension? I don't think حدا حيقول لك it is. ما تحرك الترابس بالرير دلت ما في شيء اسمه force coupling يعني muscle when it pulls on a joint في شيء مقابله بده to actually stabilize. So chasing command sensation sometimes can be actually يعني
detrimental.
إذا بدك program the worst hypertrophy program natural lifter I will chase sensations. I would do short position exercises only focus على squeeze لأنه you'll have more sensation more metabolites on it. I'll focus قد ما فيها على instability actually once in your the short position كمان most muscles مش كلهم they're going to go into active insufficiency. So the force production on a fiber level is going to go down. وحتحس بهيدا الكرامبينج كمان مثل biceps on. So all in all you يعني sensation as a total it's not correlated with the actual a day an exercise is going to be efficient effective لا hypertrophy. عرفت؟ هلا
So okay اللي.
so اللي قلناه هلا انه people are pretty bad at sensing tension when subjective versus objective. Another paper with 2024 جابوا group of trained lifters كمان I think soccer كانوا مثلا they had weightlifting history. They did the pull workout, row, dumbbell row, biceps كذا. كمان they asked them مثلا قد ايه حسيت بهالعضله over time قد ايه حسيت بهالعضله. The results no very very small correlation on a group level وقت تحكي مع الكل. On an individual level no correlation يعني واحد يقول لك 3 over 10 حسيت بالريدات واحد يقول لك 10 over 10. So كمان انت بس تاخذ هيدي الداتا من العالم it's very random يعني حدا ممكن يحس
It's
حدا
biased كمان it skews the result.
pure very biased يعني ما فيك تاخذ منها شيء وتلاقي actually تاخذ any proper information من هون الريزلتس. So الفكره انه مثلا most people couldn't feel their rear delt بالrowing motion.
أنا معك
بس
أعطيني second إيه كفي.
actual muscle activity بالrowing motion was very high. They couldn't feel their lower traps مثلا pull down أو their rear delt pull down كمان very high. So في certain muscle groups وب different individual ما راح يحس فيهم مثل هيدا مثلا بالجلوتس بالسكواتس البلوتكن بيبر مثلا similar growth glute bridge squats. I bet most people حيحسوا بالglutes أكثر.
بالهيب ثرست بالبريدج.
So في multiple factors that go into sensation. I don't think it's a great tool. ما هون الفكرة إنه are we using sensations أو is it metabolites والpump هول صرنا بغير محل. عرفت؟
Okay.
So هلا بس نحكي عن physiology will make more sense of it لهيدي النقطة.
So I will recap على السريع بس I will رجع reiterate the same outcome اللي قلت عنها. Mind muscle connection can work but there are factors that affect it. Can or might let's use both statements حتى نكون شوي أكثر exact.
يعني بعدين 2016 was the first paper ما كثير شيء.
So it can or it might work based على percentage of work على ال RM of your 1 RM. وكمان the variable هو whether you are taking the set to complete failure ولا لا. So these factors do matter. هلا الفكرة الثانية اللي أنت عم بتقولها إنه it might not be the best idea to just follow the sensation in a way or another. I want to talk بس نعم.
لا بس عم بقول لك إنه what we feel as effort is an umbrella. مش كل شيء we feel إنه effort is actually coming from recruitment and actual muscles doing the tension.
So I will play the devil's advocate ونرجع بفوت بالفيزيولوجي. I know لأنه إذا بتفوت بالفيزيولوجي أنت ما عشت تخلص. So let me put this. I will play the devil's advocate. لأنه قلت لي إنه ما في enough studies عليها. So راح يزعلوا منا الشباب رفقاتنا. بس let's talk about يعني كمان بس هذا كل العالم تعرف people who are natural و people who take anabolic steroids their physiology is different. But let me put this as a statement. This is not a negative thing. This is not a diss على العالم اللي بتاخد anabolic steroids whatsoever. لا. بس the physiology is different. Okay, so I had a statement on the side.
Everyone inherently knows this, but I think it
But
gets
I have from the scientific side يعني best for as a disclaimer I need to state it. Okay, so people who take anabolic steroids their physiology or hypertrophy mechanisms كل الخبريات is more or less different than someone who is natural. Which brings me to the question اللي أنا بدي أسألك إياه. So I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. بما إنه ما في enough studies on the mind muscle connection مثل ما أنت عم تقول إنه one paper 2016 هاي. Why? I understand. فهمت لأنه منا long term ومنا. So why wouldn't you agree with the expert bodybuilders on this side? عم تفهم علي شو قصدي؟ إنه هون you go into the experimental into the anecdotal data والexperience type of for the bodybuilders والcompetitive bodybuilders. So بس it's a variable of many other things that they do. But to them they swear by it. So why wouldn't you say no, it might not work? Or would you say it might not work?
بقول لك هون هيدي كان بدي احكيهم بالبراكتيكال ابلكيشن بس we can talk هلا بس على هيدا البارت.
اوكي.
بنرجع من هيدا. So بس أول شيء the main thing I disagree with is tracking overload. This is the number one factor that's very يعني that's going to get impacted the most بهيدا نوع training. يعني ما حقول لك انه حدا اذا عملها ما راح يكبر وكذا وهيك، بس حدا on steroids which has a different physiology ما راح يلاحظ الفرق قد حدا that's natural. حدا that's naturally we know progressive tension overload. واوفرلود هون مش يعني overload انه كل session actually الادابتيشن هي that causes muscle growth from من ايام الثمانينات وقبل 1800 we know this from research. هلا بس تجي على حدا enhance حيكون في يعني ما بعرف اذا people don't like to talk about this topic بس انه enhanced people can grow without training. في the Boston study the dose response relationship بين AAS والhypertrophy it's linear. The more you take the more you grow. عرفت في
اوكي
individual variability في حتى on يعني كهايبرتروفي usually in rodent models المايوفيبرال expansion cycle يعني كيف بتكبر المايوفيبرال بين حدا on steroids versus not it's a different mechanistically بتصير في different factors. عرفت؟ So ما
اوكي
فينا هيدا الشيء نجي نقول نحن هيدا الشيء we're gonna have to put it aside. So بس تجي انت حدا practically قل له اذا انت بدك تعمل هذا الاكزرسيز let's say pull down اوكي internal focus of attention workout A جبت 10 reps انت ما بتعرف قد ايه it's very subjective هو قد ايه كان عم بيعمل internal focus of attention يلي حكينا عنه قبل انه رح يوتر reps بالinternal focus of attention
صح.
ما رح تعرف اذا so next session انت كيف تعرف قد ايه هو عمل internal focus عن هالجيم.
So what
في
you're
شيء
trying to say is you cannot really track it. يعني you
how
cannot
do you
really
track it
track قد ايه
exactly how do you
the
track قد
اوكي
ايه هو عم بيفكر let's say طلع 2 reps او نزل 2 reps زاد مثلا how do you know اذا it's a fatigue issue بالبروجرام تبعك is it a stimulus issue is it شو اليوم الورك اوت كان تمام هيداك عليه 2 reps how do you track هيدا الشيء عرفت
اوكي اوكي ديل.
يعني on a whole macro cycle level it's going to be tough to track overload. هلا في لها حل انا برايي ممكن يلاقوا لها حل هذا اذا بدك بالبراكتيكال نحكي عنه اذا
اوكي
حدا عباله يقعد هيدا نوع التريننج بس هيدي the biggest بعتقد the biggest question mark انه how are you tracking اللي كل العالم تحكيك عن progressive overload how do you track it؟ كيف تعرف هالجمعه اذا انت عملت progressive overload لانه انت طلعت 2 reps من وراء adaptations او لانه انت you're implementing less internal focus of attention.
اوكي
Does it make sense?
it makes sense but still هلا انت you answered it subliminally يعني انه بس again يعني انا I cannot go tell someone who is I will never be able to اصلا يعني بس انا عم بحكي from people or trainers or coaches who are on anabolic steroids who competitive bodybuilders amazing people I cannot tell them it doesn't work.
اكيد
عرفت
مش
علي
كل
شو
ممكن
قصدي؟ لا عم بحكي
ليك
حتى
هذا اللي حنحكيه بعدين انه for them it might be the best option يعني we see load reduction we see reps عم ينزلوا we know انه كمان the physiology how it works on tendons بنشوف الانجريز مش بس في عالم لك بس it happens لانه المصل عم تكبر اسرع من التندن في actual physiological differences بالبروتين break down on a collagen level كمان collagen synthesis versus collagen breakdown كمان it gets affected so what we see is more fibrotic tendons people on steroids which will also have an impact on training so هي most of these training recommendations started after 1954 وقتها صار في steroids لانه people wanted يعني صار في عندك rest pause وانه supersets وكذا وهيك لانه the less you have the less load you have on absolute load the less the injury risk. هلا بيجي حدا يقول لك you can adapt ما الفكره انه their tendons they're pathophysiological in some way so they're not going to adapt to the same extent. في عندك issue break down of collagen عرفت؟
اوكي
so انت بس تيجي تقول له لا you will adapt هذا حدا هيجي يقول لك انه people adapt ايه بس هو he doesn't و this route might give him better longevity
this
عرفت؟
is a
so
this is a very important point عم بحكي from يعني
practical application عم نحكي
practically it probably is a very good way for them to train عم بحكي
ايه
from given all aspects and all else being equated, it can be a bit more optimal from a fatigue stuff, from a recovery issues or recovery point of view, from an injury point of view or injury
يعني
risk.
growth is happening either way. عرفت؟ اكيد كمان في factors غير، بس انه we know انه you can grow muscle from internal focus مش you can.
Okay.
عرفت؟
Perfect. Beautiful. هذه beautiful.
we know انه هن عندهم هيدي الايشو. we know absolute load will matter بالسترينث ليفل اللي هن بيوصلوا له، مش مثل حدا مثلك they dumbbell press 40 kilos و 45. انه
40
their people
45 is a warm up.
100%. هلا عم بنفعك شوي. في ميكانيكال رياليتي اوف انه في شيء اسمه ستريس. في عندك كروس سكشن اريا معينه، ما حدا الركبه تبعه رح تصير هالقد. في عندك amount of stress a certain cross section area فيها تحمله قبل ميكانيكال فيلير. سو انه لا، وما بيصير انجري اذا انت ادابت. اذا بدك تحمل حدا at a certain point بده يصير في ايشوز. التندن can only get so stiff وبط تصير so stiff ما فيك تحرك
ماشي
كوعك
تحرك.
دقائق. في ليميت وادابتيشنز وفي ميكانيكال رياليتي. سو this is I think هذا هو اكبر factor why people tend to gravitate toward the sheet. Injuries is one. It can also have a يعني most injuries كمان في application بهذا الشيء. يعني لو حدا ما يتمرن usually what you see when you see انه slowing down the concentric وكذا وهيك most of it is internal focus of attention. بتخلي حدا بالجيم
Agreed.
tendons actually هذا. وكمان it might reduce لانه الانتاجونست activation goes so high might reduce the tension على يعني centrifugation of a joint. ما راح it's going to help the joint be centrifugated without actual stress على ال other
حلو
connective tissue.
حلو.
هذا I'm just speculating يعني، بس انه
It's a good idea. Okay, so خلينا نحكي عن الفيزيولوجي of the mind muscle connection. Okay, حكينا عن الاوتكمز، بلشنا شوي بالمقلوب بس to get things a bit realistic او على الارض وقع. Let's talk about the physiology. So what is the physiology of mind muscle connection?
okay. هلا from the limited يعني most research we have على هذا التوبيك هو made from in vitro research او mathematical modeling او in rodents. So بس it's quite يعني extensive. هلا نحن we do have the machinery to detect tension. Okay, so when we say tension it's fiber tension. يعني when we contract a muscle هيدا التنشن do we sense قديش actually المسل فيها high levels low levels of tension إذا it's going to cause hypertrophy أما not. مثل ما حكينا قبل بهدوليك البيبرز انه trained lifters couldn't actually يعني where they felt the tension مش ضروري
Wasn't
necessarily where
agreed.
it was behind. هلا the factor is ليش عم بيصير هيك. نحن our system is very efficient. So رح بلش اول شيء بالماشينري. عندنا الماشينري which are Golgi tendon organs او GTOs موجودين deep within muscle fibers. They can detect muscle fibers full on a tendon. عرفت؟ هلا
Okay.
المشكله فيهم لهيدول هن they're not very abundant. يعني usually a muscle فيه around 100. عندك around let's say بالبايسبس 250 300 ألف fiber. So the discrepancy بين الريشيو is big.
بين
هلا في ريسيرش بيقول انه كل motor units are actually connected to a single
GTO.
بس still it's هيدا الشيء ما كثير رجعت فيه. What's actually more important with those GTOs انه it's non-linear there يعني non-linear summation. So basically they can detect between low and medium tension. But they can detect between medium and high tension. عرفت؟ They're just telling you tension بالarea. They're more sensitive to sudden tension than actually time under tension. They
as a
get decent
feedback as a feedback mechanism.
100% as a feedback لأنت تعرف شو عم بيصير, which makes sense لأنه it's more of a يعني
fail safe.
100%. So whole part of the issues. The biggest issue is actually it gets processed to the subconscious part of the brain mostly. So لأنه it doesn't make sense. في شيء اسمه reafferent feedback. يعني إذا شيء أنت عم تعمله it gets processed to the subconscious part of the brain. لأنه it doesn't make sense. أنت كل ما تمشي quads عم تحس بالquads عم تحس بمايلات. عرفت؟ So لانه السيستم is efficient enough يعرف هو شو يعمل. most people think انه we can hack the system انه اذا فكرت هيك وكذا. neural physiology is very complicated. يعني even Hahnemann's size principle is simplified, which most people still don't understand. عرفت؟ يعني I'll share بعدين معك papers على هذا الموضوع. The brain can detect so many things وعنده its own. يعني ما فيك انت تيجي تعمل انت hacking لشيء هالقد
an
advanced.
automated CPU in a way or another when it comes to the neural
100%.
network.
اوكي.
فيني أنا بس let me lead the way بس lead the protocol next أنا وياك إذا تسمح لي.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it from an A to Z thing. So I give the order to my brain to give the order to the muscle to contract. Okay.
Yeah.
You have the GTO, they start sensing the tension. So what you're saying is that exactly, and they give afferent feedback to the brain إنه في tension معين. What
هون
you're
عم نحكي عن
saying,
active tension. لا they can sense passive tension.
okay, so
كمان
active tension.
Okay.
عظيم. So what you're saying is بالGTO they can detect between low and medium بس أو medium tension but there is no way to يعني ما في fine tuning between medium and high tension simply because على الأغلب ما بعرف إذا عندك السؤال بس I would say it take it with a grain of salt يعني evolutionarily these bodies or components or GTOs are made as a fail safe for sudden movements for your body to protect itself. Okay, so this is how إذا بدك it
مش
works.
شغلتهم body building. They're not they're very efficient way to measure body. مش معمولين لهذا الشيء.
Okay, so where does the mind muscle connection comes in this؟ إنه أنا عم فكر أنا عم شد شو عم بحس إنه أنا I'm trying to control مظبوط and then the effect اللي عم بحسه هون then it's going back to my brain I'm trying to analyze it عم بحكي consciously from the mind muscle connection thing يعني هيدي هيك.
Most of it is actually yes squeezing of tissue. يعني most people مثلا بيقول لك side bend على اللاتس انه بتصير انه their intent انه ايه اعمل لات pull down و side bend لتحس فيها اكثر. بس actually اذا بتطلع مثلا بالريسيرش on sarcomere level باللاتس they
You
go
cannot
into
really
active repetition beside bending.
and you cannot really stretch them مش هيك كمان because of the sarcomere length اللي حكينا عنها قبل.
they're mostly on the plateau. هدول ما راح اتفلسف كثير فيهم بس انه they act mostly on the plateau so ما كثير حستفيدوا من stretch وهيك. بس يلي كنت عم بقول لك اياه انه sensations في يجي من metabolite accumulation في يجي من في 10 factors or whatever فيها تجيب لك a sensation. most of it اللي عم بحسوا فيه هو هيدا. مش يعني انت you can sense انه شفنا انه you can sense some activation وeffort بس it's not perfect. so انه اذا انت كل هيدا الشيء بدك your training program يكون based على هيدا الشيء your exercise selection. مثلا you see people انه بيضلوا على الار دي ال وزن خفيف لانه at a certain point ما بقى عم بحس بالهامسترينج او بالهيدا بس انه this is not a good way to actually guide your workouts. حتضلك بسب ماكسيمال لودز مثل ما حكينا قبل. on sub maximal load you can focus على القصص.
اوكي بعد في شيء ثاني بالفيزيولوجي وانا قاعد
بالفيزيولوجي I wanna add اوكي حكينا عن جي تي اوز حكينا عن basically هدول هن system
Okay.
is incredibly efficient. اللي عم بحكي انه the system will always look to an external focus لانه it's more efficient. What our system likes is efficiency per contraction per force. ما راح يفكر انه انا بدي هلا زيد لهيدي العضله activation at the expense of الموفمنت كلها على بعضها تكون more efficient. عرفت؟ So مشان هيك بنشوف practically on a rep to rep basis when you reach failure ما حيكون فيك تفكر لانه you're gonna resort back to efficiency. هذا تاني سيشن ثالث سيشن will resort back to يعني it's a hassle انك تضلك تقول له لحدا شو يفكر وتشوفهم when they're queuing ما تخليها هيك خليك هون ثاني. عرفت؟ it's tough وكمان it's taking away from the effort of the exercise. بس تكون عم تحكي مع حدا كل الوقت حكينا عن palpations وهيدا انه they don't add much حاطه وعم تقول له سكويز وانت عم بتدس فيه وكذا it's actually taking away from the recruitment. عرفت؟ انت we know what causes muscle growth recruitment and tension. إذا في any sort of effort بالbrain that's taking away من هيدا الeffort عرفت لأنه how we perceive effort can be filled with many factors. إذا it's filled with إنه بدي ضلني أفكر لا هون ما عملت stretch enough هون ما عملت squeeze enough وما عملت pause وما حسيت. عرفت your zero RIR is probably a 4 RIR on a recruitment level طلع لك one effective rep.
Noted. Let me recap next day. I think I will add something and tell me if I'm saying this somewhat accurately. So I think the mind muscle connection أو muscle squeezing أو كل هول points that are being discussed مثل ما أنت بلشت إنه I think there is a understanding أو misdefinition of the word إذا بدك. So I think and then بكرة رفقاتنا البادي builders they can correct us يعني. I think what they're looking at is a culmination of اللي انت كنت عم بتقوله بمعنى it's a sensation, it's the blood flow occlusion, it's the metabolite, كل هودي الخبريات and then you specifically mentioned that this is a different topic يعني عم بحكي عن the blood flow occlusion أو metabolites أو so it's different from the pure definition of what we are talking about the specific mind muscle connection. I think this is an interesting topic. But can we add something other than practical things to it?
Practically, I'm not يعني it might be a way to teach someone but again are you teaching him لأنه you're using the forces properly when he should or are you actually telling him to squeeze هيدي العضلة by honestly practically أنا اللي بشوفه most people why they use it it's a selling tool الكلاينت بيصير حاسس حاله more dependent عليك أنا بحس هيك معه بحس هيك معه you actually give him a bigger experience honestly speaking most people اللي بشوفهم بيحكوا بهيدا الشيء the way they apply it it's mostly voodoo stuff it doesn't make sense the mechanics اللي بيحكوا عنها it's not accurate يعني الفورسز وين عم بيقولوا يعني الفورس فاكتورز غلط اللي عم بيحكوا عنها كله بس they can make you feel a sensation يعني هلا انا اذا بعمل لك set I can make a hard set is not necessarily a stimulating set but you will perceive it as very hard with lower load مع sensations probably human nature إذا حدا ما بيفهم بالفاكتورز رح يقول لك this is a better stimulating set زيد عليهم steroids you will not have the actual enough control to know why are you growing so you're basically a biomechanics and physiology expert by the end of the week.
Okay, I will take the fifth. I will plead the fifth. Like, I understand what you're saying, and I will look at it from a different point. I always like to, you know me, I'm more or less politically correct on لما أكون on the camera. So, and I believe this. So I always like to find middle grounds in a way or another. And middle grounds between two different parties or three different points of view or opinions.
انا I'm also on يعني ما عم بقول لك it doesn't work ولا عم بقول لك هوني I think كمان on the opposite side of the barbell عندك عالم that think انه tension يعني حط وزن كل جمعه this is progressive over وينزل ويطج تحت ويطلع و1 rep و2 reps و horrible execution ما خصه proper execution ما خصه ب هدول factors عم نحكي عنهم
تعرف هذه الجوك لا I don't hate you I hate everyone equally بتاع كل الميلات انه left to the right
لا هي مش هيك لا اللي عم بحكيه انه انا what I see انه people tend to كتير gravitate towards one end of the spectrum.
Agreed. And this is what I mean. يعني this is أنا عم بقول لك where I would always like to find the middle ground.
100% practically speaking أنا إذا I want to إذا حدا for whatever reason I want to program هيدا الشيء لإله خليك معي أنا حاسه بده يطفي أيوه لا أطلع فينا نعمل
ما بيأثر.
اوكي طفى
so practically لا ما طفى practically عم تحكي عنه
so practically إذا بدي أعوز هيدا الشيء I would actually keep the first set as an actual external focus of attention for only tracking progressive overload.
First rep or first set? Sorry,
first set for tracking هيدا الاوفرلود إذا عم بيصير from week to week. One session a week. They call it a witness lift, just a lift to actually look at if what I'm doing is working or not. It gives you more control on your program. Then you can go شيء اصلا what we know the first set is the most stimulating you're going to get whatever منها وبعدين بدك تزيد volume of internal focus you're probably not doing any harm إذا هيدا الشيء على بالك.
Okay. So Anna, I will get back to the middle ground lecture. لا بس again the base statement everything at least this is my opinion انت فيك تقول لي if you agree or disagree انا ما عندي issue all opinions are welcome. انا او نحن we do not have any issue with the يعني most of them are my friends bodybuilders competitive bodybuilders so they know how much I respect them or I look up to them.
And we can
The
learn a lot from them when it comes to discipline,
so
when it comes to
I
best the
tell them there's no way in hell I can do what they do. I tell
exactly.
them I say it outwardly لكل رفقات البودي builders يعني مستحيل I do not know how they do it صراحة at least in my أنا as أنا بس from
That's
a
what
mind muscle connection يلا خليني let me take it home وفيك تختم. So from a mind muscle connection based on what we discussed على الأغلب it does work for bodybuilders, competitive bodybuilders who are on anabolic steroids. Again, this is not a disrespect or a diss or whichever we're talking عادي.
all
وعلى
fact.
الأغلب, from what we discussed, it might be a better approach, يعني a more optimal approach to them given the إذا بدك somewhat different physiology they have once they start taking anabolic steroids. When it comes to natural people, it is debatable. حكينا عن science إذا بدك studies we will link them. Uh, and this is all I have to say إذا بدك يعني on this. أنت if you want to add something by all means.
I think الاونلاين هيدي brushing someone off لانه انت اضخم منه is a very narrow minded approach. مثل ما حدا عنده the discipline انه يكون بينزل بيعمل 20,000 steps a day وكذا بس ما عنده الوقت يقعد يقرا studies. في حدا مثلي ومثلك who have the resources يحكوا مع الريسيرشرز. This is يعني the energy they have يحطوه بالتريننج we have نحطه غير محل. So I
I
think
had the same idea عن اللي أنت عم تحكيه the same approach logically يعني and I found like a logical fallacy with somewhat what some people or bodybuilders do. The idea is no, I know I do not have your muscles. I know it. And I know probably I will never have your muscles. But let's take it from my side. عم بفكر عني إنه أنا I'm someone who lost 50 kilos from 130 to 80 kilos. So does this mean إنه أنا I can help someone to lose weight more than you or to lose fat more than you? This approach and this statement doesn't make sense logically. It doesn't mean إنه أنا بفهم أكتر منهم when it comes to fat loss. بس I will emphasize إنه مش
فيك
كل
تكون
العالم
تفهم
مش كل
اكثر
البودي
you
builders
know
they approach.
on why fat loss is happening. المشكله وين بتصير؟ وقت حدا يطلع يبطل عم يحكي براكتيكال يصير عم يحكي فيزيولوجي وبايوميكانكس وكذا بس it's way above his pay grade. يعني you can't anyone with actual education can دغري it's gonna في actual لمبه بدها تدور براسه انه في شيء غلط اللي عم ينحكى. it's not يعني بعده بينحكى عن muscle damage بعده بينحكى عن physiologists و actually people doing the research هول قصص تخطوها من زمان. So الفكرة انه it's different انه انت تطلع تعطي your experience experience is very important. You're better at preparing someone يطلع on stage. عندك actual coaching tools that's particular for this scenario. بس مش يعني it will apply to every scenario ومش يعني الفيزيولوجي of why you think things are happening هو ليش things are actually happening.
I agree.
This is why we have research, we have
I
control.
agree. I agree.
So I think most good proper bodybuilders اللي هلا very high level really work مع ناس that's ربع السايز تبعهم but they're the brains behind them. لأنه you actually في شيء اسمه ego depletion. Your energy has to go somewhere. ما حدا عنده الانرجي يعمل اللي نحن بنعمله ويقعد كل النهار يفكر إذا عمل 20,000 step. I don't have the energy. ما عندي وقت. انا بالشباب يلي بيقعدوا they cite papers I know for a fact 99% of people ما قاريين. I see people cite the wrong papers. عرفت؟
I
مش
know.
لانه انا بخش فيهم بس لانه هن يمكن more consistent بغير محل انا consistent هون. بس
Agreed.
يجي حدا بده يشير يعني بده يكون مش يعني انا معي حق بس he has to represent the data properly. ما في بالاخر يقول انا اضخم منك او انا هيدا او فرجيني. Okay, this doesn't matter.
I
يعني
agree. I
this
agree.
doesn't happen.
And this still يعني this doesn't mean we are bigger than them or we are better than them. we are superior more يعني this is very important لأنه it gets taken. هلا شطينا نكزة بس I'm gonna conclude it هون يعني
شو بهذا
عرفت it
الموضوع.
gets concluded إنه إذا أنا عم بقول لك إنه في شيء statement that you said is wrong, it means like it's a direct attack to your manhood أو to your humanity أو to the person you are. This does يعني when we talk about science we do not really care about the person himself, we talk about the data that you're presenting. And we know أغلبية العالم specifically يعني the bodybuilders I will never reach their level. They have صراحة مش لأنه أنا هلا عم بطبطب يعني. They have my highest respect. They have my highest respect when it comes to effort, what they do. And I will never be able to do that. But at the same time, I would agree with you.
As someone can go do you
They,
what you
they,
did and your education كمان هول
exactly.
الفاكتور.
ما هي but this is from the other side, and I do not think you know, they can do the same thing I did from it when it comes from this side. So all I'm saying, all we're asking is best pay attention to this factor. مش معناتها أنتوا غلط. نحن we're talking about the science, we're talking about the data. I think from this discussion نحن يعني I think I managed or we managed to give them from the scientific standpoint their flowers still يعني ما
انا ما
عرفت.
حكيت شيء. هي المشكله
So that's the
بالفايت
point.
يلي naturals وتنشن وكذا وهيك they're also very dogmatic يعني they don't consider other variables. شافوا حدا قال هيك they copied شو قال. بس كمان في يعني مثل ما حكينا هلا في كثير nuances وفي كثير papers you have to go through, في كثير mechanisms you have to go through before giving a proper answer. Our answer is still it depends بالاخر. So
Agreed.
انه once it becomes this emotional وانت you get بالساينس هالقد معلق بفكره معينه this is where you stop growing, you lose eventually. لانه
Agreed.
تخيل حدا حيجي يقول لك بس في هيدا الون سيناريو it doesn't work رح
صح
تسكت. رح تقول له انا كنت لانه سوشيال ميديا عم generalizing. you immediately lose respect من your peers يلي هن actual بالفيلد.
researchers,
غير
scientists.
عالم يلي ما بتعرفوا
Agreed.
وهذا ما عرفت.
Agreed. One last word before we depart.
لا لا
ايه
لا
عندك فيني وانا
خلينا نحب بعض we're all spreading
بنحب
the
بعض
right
وشو؟
message. ها
بنحب بعض وشو؟ ما سمعتش.
نحب بعض we're all يعني basically on the same. حتى لو كل حدا sees it differently we're all changing lives in our own ways. بركي انا حدا عمره 80 سنه بركي حدا is helping someone win his first IFBB ما بعرف شو بسموها. so
كمان ما بتعرف حتى.
قلتها صح بعتقد بس انه I'm not into bodybuilding at all.
Okay.
What we're into is actually representing the data properly. هيدا هو is what drives me and I think drives you. I hope
Agreed.
اللي حكيناه فاد لحدا يعني.
Let's
ما
hope
فتنا
so.
كثير each individual paper لأنه ما في وقت. But I think we gave the 20,000 feet view عن الخبرية.
أنا what I will say is always find the middle ground. دايما it's never black or white. مش دايما كل الوقت كل حدا معه حق ودايما the other person is wrong. Sometimes كل حدا يكون عم يشوفها from a different point of view. They have a point of view or they have an opinion and some scientific data that will go with them, so or that would substantiate what they're saying. So دايما keep an open mind و that's it. ما عندي شيء أكتر تاني. We will publish this.
It's not that serious يعني. في
Agreed.
ناس تو يعني الاتاكينج اللي بيصير بعدين بيصير في ممكن مشاكل وكذا. It's not that serious. end of the day حدا معه حق يمكن بكيس معين حدا لا ونحن بنحترم الكل وهيدي هي.
Okay. This will be published on YouTube مبدئيا. رح نحط الكابشن رح نحط كل الستاديز اللي حكيت عنهم. And that's it. Welcome to the first. Thank you for the first episode of the pod of all trades.
Couldn't have done it with a better person صراحة يعني. I'm glad.
Thank you, George. ويلا I'm sure there will be many more معك. Many more. Okay. يلا we will see you.